Hey girl, so let's talk about washing our sponges. Obviously I'm working with two dirty sponges. Let's pretend your sponge was brand new and not as crusty and dusty as mine. All you would have to do to your sponge is dampen it. Now, when I dampen my brush, I don't know about you, my brush, my sponge, I like to, so you see how tight it is when it's dry? I let it soak up all of that water and you're going to feel it's going to grow in size. You will see the difference in a moment. Hold on. I'm just letting it soak up. So you see, straight away, look at how much that one is growing compared to this one. Because it's soaking up all of that water. I think this is better to display when the sponge is brand new. Look at that. I mean, maybe it doesn't look way bigger, but it looks way plumper, right? And obviously, when you have a fresh, brand new sponge, all you need to do is just squeeze the water out of it a couple of times. Squeeze the water properly because you don't want that water dripping all over your face when you're trying to do your makeup, right? There we go, sis. And then your sponge is good to go. Then what I do is I just put it in a nice, fresh, clean paper towel because there are no microbes. I don't know. Like on a normal towel, you've already used it. It's been out. It has germs on it, sis. Okay. So I just use a fresh paper towel and then I squeeze it to get out all the water and then I'm good to go. But I have to wash my sponge. So let me do that now and show you how I do that. Look at the difference. You seen that? Now that it's soaked in all that water, look at the difference between a damp one and a dry one. Dry one will not apply your makeup properly. I mean, maybe you could because you've got special powers, but for me, I'm a normal everyday citizen. And mine needs to be damp. Okay, so let's get to actually washing out an old beauty blender. What I use is my good old Fairy Dairy. I don't know where you live, but you know that normal dishwashing liquid. This is it. Don't mind the fancy bottle. I'm really cute, but it's just normal dishwashing liquid. So I put some right on the tip and then I put a little bit of warm water. I wet that and then I just start working them together. Let me wet this sponge as well. Soak it up in some water and it's going to grow. And then I just do that. Now, let's say you do not have two sponges to work with. That's okay. Just work your hand through the sponge. You're going to see the makeup coming out of it. And it's a lot of makeup because sponges tend to soak up any liquids they come in contact with, right? My belly is a sponge. It soaks up anything that I come in contact with. So do not fear. That's normal. I wash my sponges at every use. I never reuse a sponge. So whenever I do my makeup, I wash my sponge. I never use a dirty sponge to do my makeup again. I feel like that's very important when you're trying to get like a perfect finish to your makeup. You cannot use a dirty sponge. I can't say the same about my brushes, but the sponges, I definitely wash them. So yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more soap in here. On here. I just use the sponges to clean out the other sponge. Yeah, just like this. So there we go. So let's say you didn't have a second sponge, you just have the one. You can just keep massaging it like this. This is even stress relief, if you will. Just beat that sponge up like I stole something from your mama, girl. Or something else that you could do. If you have one of these things, I forgot what they're called. I'll insert a name because I'm having mind block. But if you put water and you gently brush your sponge on it, it will clean out your sponge. But you have to be really gentle because otherwise it cuts the surface of your sponge, okay? But yeah, that will also clean out a very dirty sponge. That's how I used to clean initially until I realized that I can rub two sponges on each other and have just as good of a clean effect. Let me clean this and get it out of the way. The tips are a bit more stubborn. Now, personally, if I was just going about my life, I wouldn't even bother to go further because I'm happy with the sponge just like this. I will literally just flip it on the other side of the sponge and use it. But because you guys are here, I can't be rude. I have to show you how to do this correctly, right? So I'll add a little bit of soap onto that. Here we go. And then just rub it on the other one again. Now, once again, if you do not have a second sponge, then it's okay to just work your finger through it, massage it. And just look out for the residue coming out. If the color of it is white and is not brown anymore, then I think you're good to go. Even if you still see some shadows or some marks there, because the soap is coming out clean, it's coming out white, then it's safe to apply makeup with the sponge. Now, if it was coming out brown, then sis, you still got a little bit more work to do. But is this one coming out brown? See, this one's coming out brown. So this one really needs work. I'm just transferring some of this soap to this one because every little counts around here, okay? So it's still a little bit there, but it's good enough for me to proceed with the sponge. Now here's the kicker. When you are rinsing off the soap and you're getting ready to finalize this process, you want to make sure that all soap is out of your sponge. Like you squeeze all of the soap off your sponge, because otherwise that will affect your makeup application. It will mess with the composition of your foundations, I find for myself. You see, it still has soap coming out, so we're not done. Let's see. I feel like that still has a little bit of soap inside. This one not. This one's good. This one's good to go. You see? This one's good to go. No bubbles. But this one's still... Once you're happy with how your sponges are, look at that. Isn't that amazing? I've had these sponges for a long time, hence all of these marks. Because instead of buying sponges all the time, especially because these are Real Technique sponges, I find that they're the ones that I work with the best. I mean, you could use sponges from anywhere. Primark has some really amazing sponges as well. But I got these on sale on Amazon. So I just got these. And I find that I'm able to maintain them and to reuse them for such a long time because of this washing process. I mean, you could just be posh and use them once, throw them out, and buy a pair of new ones, but that's not my life. That's not my story. Soaking up all that water, all that excess water. Look at how big and plump they are, and so ready to apply my makeup flawlessly. Lord! Okay, now let's get on to this makeup.